The last time I kissed my husband as a free man was through a glass partition with a prison guard watching. He was wearing orange. I was holding our 6-month-old daughter against the window so he could see her smile, and the words he whispered before they took him away still ring in my ears. Take care of our babies. I'll be home one day. I promise. 9 years. 3,285 days of visiting rooms, collect calls, and crying myself to sleep with his side of the bed cold. And then, on an ordinary Tuesday morning, the prison gates opened, and God walked him straight from a 6'8" cell into our bedroom like the years had never happened. My name is Melanie. Marcus and I got married at 19 and 20. Young, stupid, and so in love we couldn't see straight. He was the worship leader at our church. I sang beside him, and when he looked at me during songs it felt like the whole world disappeared. We had our son Micah 2 years later, then our daughter Selah the year after that. We were building a beautiful life. Then one phone call destroyed everything. Marcus got pulled into a bad business deal with some old friends, something about moving money that wasn't his to move. He swore he didn't know it was illegal. The jury didn't believe him. 10 years, federal prison, no chance of parole. I was 26 years old with a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old when they sentenced him. I sat in that courtroom and screamed when they took him out in handcuffs. The kids didn't understand why Daddy couldn't come home for bedtime anymore. The first year was pure survival. I moved in with my mom. I worked 2 jobs. I drove 4 hours every Saturday to take the kids to see their dad through glass. Marcus cried every single visit. He wrote me letters every single day, some days 2 or 3. He got saved for real in that prison chapel 6 months in. He started leading Bible studies for the other inmates. He fasted. He prayed. He begged God to keep our family together. I wish I could say I was strong the whole time. I wasn't. There were nights I laid the kids down and sat in the car screaming at God. Why my husband? Why my kids? 9 years, God. There were days I almost gave up and filed for divorce because it hurt too much to stay married to a memory. But every time I got close, I'd find one of his letters in the mailbox that said, "Baby, don't let me go. I'm fighting for us in here. Fight for us out there." So I fought. I became that wife, the one who put money on his books every month, the one who sent pictures of every school play, every lost tooth, every birthday, the one who played his recorded voice messages for the kids at night so they wouldn't forget what Daddy sounded like. I wore my wedding ring like armor. I told everyone who asked, "He's coming home to us." God told me, "Your 5 was the hardest." The kids stopped asking when Daddy was coming home. Micah started acting out at school. Selah cried every time we left the prison. I gained 30 pounds from stress eating. I was exhausted. I was angry. I was lonely. But I kept writing, kept visiting, kept praying the same prayer. God, bring my husband home whole. Then year 7 happened. Marcus called me collect on a Wednesday night crying so hard the operator asked if everything was okay. He said a federal judge had just overturned his conviction on new evidence, something about prosecutorial misconduct. They were reviewing his case for immediate release. I dropped the phone and started screaming in my mom's kitchen. The kids came running, thinking someone died. I told them, "No, someone's coming home." It still took 2 more years of appeals, hearings, and paperwork. But on March 14th, a Tuesday, just like any other, the prison called and said, "Mrs. Carter, come get your husband. He's free." I drove those 4 hours with the kids in the back seat holding welcome home signs they'd colored for weeks. When the gates opened and Marcus walked out in street clothes carrying a small plastic bag with everything he owned, I didn't recognize him at first. He was bigger, muscular from prison workouts, his hair had gray at the temples, but his smile, that smile was the same one from our wedding day. He dropped the bag, ran to us, and we collided in the parking lot like a movie. He picked up Micah, who was now taller than me, and spun him around. He held Selah so tight she started laughing and crying at the same time. Then he looked at me, cupped my face with hands that hadn't touched me in 9 years, and said, "I'm home, baby. I'm finally home." We renewed our vows the next week in our living room with just the 4 of us and my mom. He got down on one knee again and put a new ring on my finger, the one he'd saved up for with prison commissary money. We turned his first night home into a second honeymoon. Yes, that way too. 9 years of waiting made it the sweetest night of our lives. Today, 6 years after he walked out of those gates, Marcus is the father our kids never stopped believing in and the husband I never stopped fighting for. He leads worship again, only this time with scars and a story that makes grown men cry. We travel and tell our testimony. We mentor couples where one spouse is incarcerated. Our kids call it the prison miracle. If you're watching this while your husband sits in a cell, or your wife is locked away, or you're counting years instead of days until they come home, hear me. Distance is not stronger than God. Bars are not bigger than grace. Time is not the final word. The same God who opened prison gates for Marcus is about to open them for your spouse. Your family is not over. Your bedroom is not staying empty. Your kids are getting their parent back. Your marriage is getting its miracle. I'm proof. 9 years. One Tuesday. Forever changed. Drop your name or your loved one's name and inmate number in the comments. I'm praying every single night for gates to open, sentences to be overturned, and prodigals to walk free straight into the arms waiting for them. He's coming home. Or she is. Just watch.